All right, good morning, boys and girls. I'm Joe Esposito. Glad you could be here. Let me explain to you what I just gave you. Everybody's got two black cards, right, and one yellow card, right? Business cards. Okay, before we start, that's your gift for being here. Those two cards are two file gift certificates to a restaurant downtown called R. Thomas. Anybody ever been there? Isn't that great? Okay. Richard Thomas, interesting character. Richard used to be the president of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Broke off and started his own little company called Bojangles. You may have heard of it. About 30 years ago, realized he was killing people with what he was serving them. Sold the whole chain of Bojangles and opened up this place on Peachtree Street called R. Thomas, Richard Thomas Grill. So if you ever go there, it's open 24 hours a day. And the reason is, funny story, first day Richard opened, he lost the keys. Couldn't close. He had to stay there all night. And it's a really funky, cool place, right? You've been there, right? It's funky, it's weird, great menu. Richard actually asked me years ago, said, what's one of your favorite recipes? And I said, it's an avocado mango salad. Now it's the biggest seller at the restaurant. He stole my recipe from me. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. It's a $5 gift certificate. They have beer and wine, they have a juice bar. It's just a lot of fun place. But I know when people come to my lectures, I appreciate it. I want to say thank you, so there's a little gift for you. Okay, ready for the start? My background, I have 5 degrees and 23 certifications. I'm board certified in chiropractic, orthopedics, pain management. I'm double board certified in nutrition. I have a BS in clinical nutrition. I was a dietitian. I retired. I'm an award-winning author. I have a new book coming out in January. I host 2 of the largest nationally syndicated radio shows in the world at WSB Radio in Atlanta. If you've ever heard my show, it's a lot of fun. And that's going to become a TV show in the next couple of months, which is kind of cool. So you're going to videotape me doing a radio show. But the executives from the TV station came and said, this will be fun. Been in practice 32 years, have an office right up the street, about 5 minutes from here on Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, and I have an office in Marietta. So I got a lot of experience, and what we're going to talk about today is the 7 deadly sins of nutrition. This is the basis of nutrition. So when it comes to nutrition, people say, where do I start? What do I do? This is going to be your starting point, and this is going to be brown belt nutrition. Once you master this, then I can take you to black belt nutrition. Let's get brown belt first, okay? Let's not jump ahead. There are 7 foods that if you put in your body are going to make you sick. That's it. There's 120,000 foods that are good for you. So if I was going to give you $120,000, and I want you to give me $7 back, no strings attached, good deal?
Yeah.
You do it. Anybody not take that deal? That's a very good deal. So I'm going to give you 120,000 foods. I want you to give me 7 in return. Problem is that most people's diets consist of those 7, and you avoid the other 120,000. So the 7 deadly sins, real quick, ready? Alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. Collectively, you all said what? My God, that's everything. It's my whole diet. I'll die if I don't eat that. Okay, take a breath. I'm going to teach you how to do this. I'm going to negotiate every one of them. How about that? I'm not going to take them all away from you. I'm going to negotiate and give you a better option. That's fair, right? Good business deal. Okay. Let's start with alcohol. Alcohol destroys what? Brain cells. How many people knew that? Have you forgot that?
Don't like to think
That's a
about
flashback to his college days. Yeah. Alcohol destroys brain cells. Your brain controls what? Everything. Your brain sits up here, right? In most cases. And your brain sends messages down your spine, out your nerves, to every cell in the body. So there's a nerve that makes your heart beat, your lungs breathe, your eyes see, your kidneys make urine, your eyes blink, your toenails grow. Everything has to be controlled because the brain is telling it what to do. 2 things can interfere with the neurological messages from the brain to the body. Chemical and physical. Now chemical would be drugs, food, alcohol, environmental toxins. That's what we're going to talk about today. Physically is if a bone in the spine or anywhere in the body moves out of place, it can pinch a nerve. And if you pinch a nerve, it hurts. Okay, so give me a finger. If I do this and it hurts, how do we stop the pain? Stop pinching me. Makes sense, right? So if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, muscle weakness, like the person before me was talking about exercise. Exercise is really important, and you were asking me about weightlifting, but you can build up strong muscles around crooked bones, or you can build up strong muscles around straight bones. So this is why it's so important that when you start working out, you make sure everything's lined up properly. It would be like me buying a brand new car, but the tires are out of line. Beautiful car, but it's not going to do real well if I keep driving it. And that's the concern I have with athletes. I've worked with the US Olympic team, the Cuban Olympic team, 8 Wimbledon champions I've worked on, professional athletes all around the world, and they all get it, that structure affects function. So if something's out of place, you got to put it back in place. And in the process, you usually feel it. I mean, people go to chiropractor all the time for neck pain and back pain and shoulder pain and numbness and tingling and muscle weakness. Put the bones back in place, take the pressure off the nerves, you feel better. But 90% of your nerves don't feel pain. Imagine what happens.
Older people listening.
Oh, hi guys.
Can you please mute your phones?
Oh, mute your phones, please. Talking to the right, please.
There's Mike's all dropped.
Oh, these are the mics. Got it. Okay. Hi guys. I'm waving to you. Okay. It's a little freaky. So 90% of your nerves don't feel pain. I want you to get this fact because this is big. If you have high blood pressure, it doesn't hurt. Diabetes doesn't hurt. High cholesterol doesn't hurt. 90% of everything that goes on in your body you're not aware of, but it's still controlled by nerves. So you can damage a nerve chemically and not see the effects until later on. That's why it's so important that you're not immune. I have people say to me, why do I care about nutrition? I drink, I wake up the next morning, I don't have a hangover, I'm fine. No, you will suffer long term. You have to. It's not an option. You have to have damage chemically or physically to a nerve if you damage it chemically and physically. So 90% of the time you can have a pinched nerve or damaged nerve and not even know it, and that's when you start to see things like high blood pressure and diabetes and things like that. So we want to test the nerves that feel pain, and we want to test the nerves that don't feel pain. In my office, that's what we do. So alcohol destroys brain cells, your brain controls everything. So drink a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of brain damage. A lot of alcohol, a lot of brain damage. There you go, right, exactly. Now alcohol is a diuretic, which means what? It makes you pee, right? Do you ever notice how you drink one beer, you pee out 3? Where does other 2 beers come from? The reason is this. Your brain produces a chemical called vasopressin. It's also called antidiuretic hormone. Vasopressin prevents you from peeing all day. When you drink alcohol, it shuts down the production of vasopressin. So you pee more. Why is that important? Because the alcohol destroys brain cells. You want to get the alcohol out of the system. So you peeing is your body trying to stay alive. But then you go into dehydration. The brain shrinks. When the brain shrinks, it hurts. That's part of a hangover. Your brain shrunk. So I told you I'll negotiate everything with you, right? Because this is brown belt nutrition. I'm going to negotiate everything with you. If you drink, here's the rules. For every drink you have, 3 glasses of water. Okay? A couple of things happen. Number 1, you have a lot more fluid to flush out the alcohol. Number 2, your brain doesn't shrink. Number 3, you're peeing all day. You don't have time to drink. So you save a ton of money. See what you see that was? So if you're going to drink, you shouldn't. But if you do, I want you to drink a lot more water because I promise you, you're going to be very happy with that. Okay? So for every drink you have, 3 glasses of water. So that's what alcohol does. Now we've all heard the story that wine is good for what? Red wine is good for your heart. We all know that, right? It's not the wine that's good for your heart. It's the red part that's good for your heart. It's the proanthocyanidins and the antioxidants that we find in red grapes that have protection for the heart. And also red grapes have something in it called resveratrol. Resveratrol is amazing. Resveratrol has been found to actually help reverse the aging process. On your genes, you have a little tail. It's called the telomere. And the telomere, when you're young, is very long and very active. And as you get older, the telomere inside the genes, inside the cells, start to shrink. And so I can actually do a genetic test on you and determine how old you are, not by the calendar, but physiologically how old you are, depending on how active or inactive the telomere is. Now, resveratrol has been shown to actually reverse some of that telomere damage. That's pretty cool. The problem is this. If you drink wine, it's got to be organic. If it's not organic, we spray a fungicide on the wine, on the grapes, and the reason the grapes produce resveratrol is to fight off the fungus. If they're not being exposed to fungus, they don't produce resveratrol. Following? So the only wine that you can drink if you're going to get resveratrol is organic. And, here's the kicker, you have to drink about a case of wine a day to get any effects. Now that does not give you permission to drink a case of wine a day. Dr. Joe said I could do this. But that's the danger of that, of a little bit of information. Yes, red grapes are high in resveratrol. It's got to be red. It's got to be organic, and you have to drink a case of it. Now, if you want to take a supplement, you can buy resveratrol supplements if you wanted to. But if you're eating a good diet, you don't damage the telomeres. So you don't need the resveratrol. Following? So many times people come to me and say, Dr. Joe, I had 3 times yesterday, people call me or come in as patients and say, what can I take for blood pressure?
Mute your phone, put your phone.
Mute your there. There you go. Yes? Good. Hear myself, that's scary. So, what can I take for high blood pressure? I said, well, don't cause high blood pressure. Then you don't have to take anything. Well, what do you mean? I have high blood pressure, I take medication, it lowers it. I get that. Does it mention the fact that it can kill your sex drive and affect your heart? And statin drugs to lower your cholesterol can also kill you. So, you know, the death rate between people with high cholesterol and normal cholesterol is about the same when it comes to heart disease. That's scary. Why are we taking statin drugs then? I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not here to tell you to take drugs or not take drugs. But I'm telling you that if you look statistically, your risk of dying with high cholesterol or low cholesterol is about the same. And statin drugs prevent you from producing something called coenzyme Q10. Coenzyme Q10 gets into your cells and creates energy. As an athlete, that's important. So if you're taking statin drugs, you're not producing as much coenzyme Q10. And I always tell people, please, if you're taking statin drugs, take coenzyme Q10 as a supplement. At least to help counterbalance that. So anyway, that's alcohol. Alcohol destroys your brain cells, brain controls everything. As a chiropractor, I want to make sure your nervous system is working at 100%. Sugar. Sugar gives you what? Energy, right? It's on TV. It must be true. TV never lies, right? How much sugar in a can of soda? 12 teaspoons. 9 to 12 teaspoons in a can of soda. If I was going to take 9 teaspoons of sugar and dump it down your throat all at once, you'd be going, it's awful. As long as we mix it with a little bit of salt, which makes your mouth produce saliva, and saliva breaks down sugar, and then we add phosphoric acid to it, which is an acid. Whenever you put acid in your body, it robs the body of calcium. Cola sodas especially. Phosphoric acid is acid, and the 7 foods I listed are all acids. Put acid in your body uses acid, calcium to neutralize the acid, you lose bone mass like crazy. I've never seen anyone, in 32 years of practice, thousands, probably tens of thousands of patients, who had osteoporosis who didn't have a high acid diet, ever. And the cool part is, when you stop putting all those acids in your food, alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener, your body stops wasting calcium. And when you stop eating those foods, you're eating the other 120,000 foods which are high in calcium. So now you stop causing the problem and you fix the problem at the same time. Pretty nifty, huh? Neat stuff. So you got to eat a low acid diet. That's the key. And alcohol is acid, sugar is an acid. Now some people say, well, Dr. Joe, I don't drink regular soda. I drink diet soda, right? Let's talk about that for a second. Of all the things I'll ever teach you, and hopefully I'll come back again and we'll do lots of seminars together, the worst thing you can put in your body of the 7 deadly sins is artificial sweetener. Okay? The person who invited me here, Laura, she asked me to talk about artificial sweetener because she said every break room is packed with artificial sweetener. So hopefully today you're going to stop doing that. Okay? I want to show you something cool. Oops. Wrong pocket. Nothing up my sleeve. Okay. And so I brought some packets of artificial sweetener. I got the blue one, okay, which is aspartame. And then the pink one, which is saccharin. Okay? This is the popular one. So let's talk about this. Aspartame. When you put it in your body, it breaks down to 3 components: aspartic acid, phenylalanine, and methyl esters. Don't worry about the chemistry. Aspartic acid is what's called an excitotoxin to the brain. When I put it in your brain starts firing faster than it's supposed to. And I can literally burn out your brain cells. So I'm destroying brain cells. Phenylalanine has to be processed through your kidneys, and if it doesn't process through your kidneys, you can die. That's why on these packages they say, not for phenylketonuria patients. Phenylketonuria is a disease where you can't process phenylalanine, and you die, your kidneys shut down. And then the other interesting part is it breaks down to methyl esters. Methyl esters is methanol. Methanol is wood alcohol. The reason I started researching this years ago, I was dating a gal, and she admitted to me after a couple of months she was an alcoholic and recovered. And she said, will you come to an AA meeting with me? And I said, sure. No big deal. I didn't realize it was a big deal. I show up there, first of all, 4 patients are there. I got to explain to 4 patients why I'm at an AA meeting. A little tricky, okay, because I'm Mr. Nutrition. But what amazed me about this is that they're drinking diet soda like crazy. Skinny people. drinking diet soda at the AA meeting. Didn't make sense to me. I thought it was the caffeine, replacing one addiction with another, and I understand addiction and the chemistry in the brain. But I thought, why diet soda and not regular? Well, I did my research, and methyl esters converts into methanol. Methanol is alcohol. They're drinking alcohol at the AA meeting. Wow. Okay. So methyl esters converts to methanol. Methanol converts into formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is embalming fluid. It's a class A carcinogenic. Means it's the worst of the worst. Okay. Now, as a chiropractor and a pain management expert, my concern is making your nervous system work properly. So we said aspartic acid stimulates the nervous system. So anybody want to volunteer? I want to show you what this does to your nervous system. I won't hurt you, I promise. Anybody want to come up? Somebody? Anybody? Can I borrow you? She's brave. She's the right. See, she handed out my notes for me. Come on up here. What's your name?
Shanika.
Shanika, nice to see you. Okay, so stand here, Shanika. I don't know you, right? No.
Right.
All right, put your arm straight out. Just one. You look silly. Okay. Okay. Push up toward the sky real hard. Push up hard. Good. Push up real hard. So for those listening on the phone, what I'm doing is I have Shanika's arm out and I'm just pushing on it to see how strong she is. Now what I'm going to do, Shanika, is I'm not going to make you eat this. I'm going to ask you to hold it. I'm just going to dump the package in her hand. Wrap your hand around it. So I just put the artificial sweetener, the aspartame, in her hand. And I'm going to wait about 10 or 20 seconds. The reason is this, and I can give you a whole nother lecture. Come on in. The reason is this, is that what happens is your skin is a sponge. Anything that comes in contact with your skin is going to get absorbed. So this is a double lesson I'm teaching you here. Number one is how dangerous aspartame is, but number two is be careful about makeup, lotions, hairspray, perfume, deodorants, shampoos. A lot of these things have chemicals in them that can cause damage to your body. That's another lecture. Today, watch what happens. You've held it in your hand, right?
Yes.
Put your arm straight out again. Push up toward the sky.
Wow.
Push up again.
No.
Isn't that
Not
weird?
at all, yes.
Okay, what just happened, for those listening on the phone, I pushed on her arm, she had absolutely no strength. You, right? Okay.
Correct.
Why don't you go throw that away before you get sick? I didn't make her eat this. I let her hold it. And she held it for what, 30 seconds, right? I'd say it's true. Everybody's like, is it really? Every muscle in her body went weak. What would happen if she had a can of diet soda? And then had a meeting, or had to go to work, or she had a date. We had to go work out. How about you just alive? Bam! Blew out every part of the nervous system in the body. Not good, is it? And now we're linking this aspartame into astrocytoma development. Astrocytoma is brain cancer. Astrocytomas become gliomas. Gliomas is brain cancer. So I want you to stop using that. I hate to say this out loud, but sugar, as bad as it is not as bad as artificial sweeteners. And studies have shown now that the more artificial sweeteners you use, the fatter you are. I used to be extremely overweight. Okay, I used to fill out this skin. So I totally get what it's like to be overweight. I totally get food addiction. I totally get that love of carbohydrates, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas. I get it. I was there. And is it hard? It's not hard every day anymore. It's hard every meal. Every meal, I want more breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas. I can't eat a cookie. I can eat a box of cookies, but I can't eat a cookie. Because as soon as you put sugar in your body, it stimulates the pleasure centers in the brain. The pleasure centers kick off, and you get high. And when you get high, what do you want more of?
Good.
More cookies. There you go, right? You with me, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice one.
So that, and ice cream and breads. I'm Italian. And it was so hard for me when I finally realized that I can't eat breads and pastas anymore. Killed me. But here's the good news. Yes?
What about stevia?
Stevia is perfectly fine. So if you're going to use a sweetener, get some stevia. You buy it at any health food store. They have it packaged. You can buy it in bulk. Use stevia, perfectly fine. They have stevia sweetened soda. Yes?
What about Splenda?
Splenda is a chlorinated hydrocarbon. When you chlorinate a hydrocarbon, it stimulates your estrogen receptor sites. So it actually causes your body to produce excess estrogen. Estrogen is a growth hormone. And what?
It causes cancer.
Causes cancer. Years ago, back in, was it the 30s or 40s, whenever it was, we realized that women's ovaries produce estrogen. And when it went through menopause, they had the hot flashes and these other issues. So why don't we just give women estrogen, replace the estrogen that they're not producing anymore, solve the hot flashes? Well, guess what? The rate of breast cancer skyrocketed, the rate of heart disease skyrocketed, and death rate skyrocketed. Hormone replacement therapy. Maybe that's not the best route. I'm not against hormone replacement therapy. I'm against it if it's not necessary. And that's what I'm trying to teach you today, that is probably not necessary. Yes?
Isn't it true also, though, that the artificial sweeteners in sodas particularly are usually combined? So you're not getting just one artificial sweetener, you're usually getting 2 or 3.
Yes.
And the cola industry does that to stimulate cravings, to cause you to drink more of their product.
Yes, if you drink it, it's not just aspartame, it's aspartame, sucralose, acylfame K, saccharin. They mix several of them. And that'll stimulate the pleasure centers even more. And you want more. Yes?
I know it's not an artificial sweetener, but what about the turbinado that they use in smoothies?
Turbinado is just a less processed sugar. It's bad, it's not as bad. It's not good, okay? Sugar's still bad. What?
How is stevia better than regular sugar?
Stevia is a sweetener. If you ever go to like any of the big box stores or a plant store, they sell it now. Because it grows as a ground cover. It grows like a weed. Little tiny leaves about the size of your pinky fingernail. Take one off and chew on it. In the store, just take it off and chew on it. You'll be amazed how sweet it is. It's about 300 times sweeter than sugar. The thing is that stevia stimulates the sugar sensation in your body, but it doesn't get absorbed in the digestive system. Because it's not getting absorbed, it passes right through you. Which is what we thought about sucralose when it first came out, but then we started doing further testing and found out sucralose was being absorbed and kicking in the estrogen receptor sites. So stevia is fine. And 0 calories, 70 nutrients in it, 100% safe for children, 100% safe for diabetics. Okay? And I can drink a stevia soda and not crave more. If I have a sweetened soda, I want more. And that's the difference. Yeah.
You use it for cooking?
You can use it for cooking as well. You're going to have to look up some recipes on that because it's so concentrated, you have to find a mix. Usually you get replace like applesauce, just in volume. Because this much stevia would replace like a cup of sugar. So you have to replace volume. But there are recipe books, look it up online, there's plenty of easy ways to replace it, yeah. Okay? So sugar's not a good thing, artificial sweetener's worse. So alcohol, sugar, artificial sweetener. Can I talk about coffee or are you going to kill me? Lynch me? Yeah.
What is wrong with saccharin?
Yeah, what?
What is wrong with saccharin?
Saccharin used to say on the label can cause cancer. They took it off the label. Doesn't mean it doesn't cause cancer anymore. They just took it off the label. it has been linked to cancer as well. Okay? Stevia is the one. Stevia answers all your questions. This thing's called Lohan you could try. That's an option as well. But stevia is the most popular and I find it most tasty.
So are you familiar with the fact that the cola companies are now buying the stevia processing plants?
Years ago, I gave a lecture to one of the big cola plants here in Georgia. You may know, you may have heard of it. Okay? And they called me up, they said, Dr. Joe, you're the #1 motivational nutritional speaker in the world. We want you to come and speak at our company because I can't believe you're actually here in Atlanta. We didn't know that. Will you come speak to our company? And I said, do you know who I am? You're sure you want me coming to speak to a cola production company? They said, absolutely. So I went down there and I got to meet with the research and development company. This is about 20 years ago. And I went in there with all my research about how great stevia is and why they should be using stevia instead of artificial sweeteners. And I had my research pack and I walked in, I spoke to the head of R&D, and I said, I started talking about stevia. He goes, whoa, 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 we know about stevia. He says, there's not enough stevia in the world to meet our needs. That's why we don't use stevia. Now, you may have heard of Truvia and Purevia, the stevia companies. Guess who owns them? Coke and Pepsi. So Coke and Pepsi are now leaning into the stevia market, and you're seeing things like, I think it's Coke Life.
Yeah.
It's half sugar, not high fructose corn syrup, sugar and half stevia. So we're trying to push the American tastes into stevia. Around the world, stevia is very popular. It's just us. We're so far behind in the world. So you're going to find stevia in your diet sodas and everything very soon in the near future. And the artificial sweeteners are going to the wayside. So you're absolutely right. Okay? The only thing worse than sugar is high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup, let me back up. Plain old white sugar, table sugar. 50% sucrose, 50% glucose. Glucose is the fuel that if I gave you glucose, it gets used by the cells immediately. The insulin carries it into the cells, it's used as fuel. Fructose, 50%, has to go into the liver and be converted into glucose and then used as a fuel. The problem is when you send it into the liver, fructose produces a waste product. It's called uric acid. Uric acid gets in your joints and it hurts. I'm a chiropractor. I'm a pain management expert. So when patients come to me, I want my team of doctors and we want to give you the best chiropractic care that we feel is available. However, I also do a nutritional workup on every one of my patients because if you're sucking down high fructose corn syrup like crazy, what's going to happen is it's going to get into the joints, produce uric acid, get into the joints, and it hurts. Uric acid prevents the body from producing nitric oxide. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels. It's nature's Viagra. And not just your sex organs, your brain, your arms, your legs, every part of your body, it's a vasodilator. If you don't produce nitric oxide, blood vessels don't open, which can lead to things like high blood pressure. So high fructose corn syrup can lead to high blood pressure because it's not preventing the body from producing nitric oxide. The blood vessels can't open. And then as we get older, if you ever watch any sporting event, every third commercial is for a little blue pill. Men will perform like they were when they were 19 years old. Well, that's a great idea, and it does work. You can take those pills and it works. You can die from them because the blood vessels open up so much you could blow out a blood vessel and die. But hey, you died like a 19-year-old, I guess. I don't know. But a lot of it has to do with the fact we're sucking down high fructose corn syrup like crazy, preventing nitric oxide production. So stay away from high fructose corn syrup, stay away from artificial sweeteners, stay away from sugar. Go with stevia if you can. Yes?
Is it high fructose in most products?
High fructose is in everything, yes. And it's usually made with genetically modified corn, too, which is a whole other lecture, yes.
Two things that I've heard about high fructose corn syrup. First is it's much less expensive than sugar, which
Yes.
is why the food industry prefers it. Second is it actually causes food cravings worse
Yes.
than either sugar or artificial sweeteners because that process of converting the fructose
Right.
stimulates chemicals in your brain that cause you to crave food. So
Right.
if you drink a soda that's full of high fructose corn syrup, within 20 minutes you're going to be craving something
Yeah,
different.
it's sweeter than regular sugar and it's cheaper. So if I'm manufacturing and I'm making soda, how can I sell more soda, make you want more soda, and sell it for you and make more profit? Well, I'll use high fructose corn syrup. It's brilliant marketing. It's not good for you, but it's brilliant marketing. I get it. It's okay. That's why you're here and other people aren't. You guys are going to walk out of here. I told you a half hour ago. Within an hour, everything in your life is going to change. And I promise that. I've been doing this for 32 years. It always works. So, stay away from sugars, high fructose corn syrups. And when I say sugar, that's breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas as well. All right, here's the rule. If you're going to eat sugar, if you're going to eat breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas, I'll negotiate with you. I want you to do gluten-free. The reason is gluten is a protein. It's real popular now. It's found in wheat, barley, and rye. It gets into your small intestine, irritates your small intestine, causes an inflammatory reaction. Everybody, I believe, has some reaction. Some people are celiac and they can die from it. But other people, it's still, we don't have the enzymes to break down gluten. And it causes an inflammatory reaction. New research shows that if there's inflammation anywhere in the body, pinched nerve in the neck, shoulder injuries, bowel issues, that inflammation goes up into the brain and can prevent your body from producing neurotransmitters like serotonin. Serotonin helps keep you calm and happy. Instead, what happens is you produce quinolinic acid, and quinolinic acid, instead of serotonin, can lead to things like depression. So inflammation in the body can lead to depression. And not just bowel inflammation, bad backs, headaches all the time, shoulder issues. So that's why, as a chiropractor, I want to get you fixed up, because when a bone moves out of place and pinches a nerve, there's inflammation. Chronic inflammation causes quinolinic acid production, which can lead to depression. Question?
What about breads which says no HFCS in it?
No what?
No HFCS in it.
What doesn't have high fructose corn syrup?
No, what about, there are breads out there.
Oh, the breads that don't have high fructose corn syrup. Yeah, if you're going to do breads, no high fructose corn syrup, but it's the wheat that I'm talking about now.
Okay.
The wheat is the thing that has that breaks down into sugar and has the gluten in it. Now, is that hard to do? Yes. But I'm going to negotiate with you. Yes.
Is there a brand of bread that you think is good?
I'm Italian, and there is no good bread. Unless it's wheat. There's a couple of them. I think it's Scar, S-K-A-A-R. I think it's from Europe. That's one. Rudy's is another brand. That's not bad. They're not bad. They're not good. I'm not going to lie.
What about Ezekiel?
Ezekiel
it
is-
has barley and
It still has wheat, but it's sprouted. So
right?
Ezekiel is better. It's the sprouted wheat, but it's still not great. But I'm going to negotiate with you here, because we just talked about breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas. By the way, rice fits in there too. And I know you're going to be mad at me, but here's the deal. I'm going to let you do some rice. But here's how you got to do it. When you cook anything, any type of grain, I want you to cook it and add a little coconut oil to it. You don't have to do the coconut oil, that's a bonus, okay? Cook it and then put it in the refrigerator overnight and let it cool. When it cools, you create something called a resistant starch. You've never heard that word, and it's going to change your life. When you eat rice, let's say we're going to go out for a nice buffet, we're going to have some rice without food. That rice gets into the body, breaks down into sugar, gets absorbed into the body, and robs the body of calcium and stimulates the brain. But when you cool the rice overnight, the starch has changed the molecular structure, and only about 50% of the sugar is now absorbed. The other 50% goes from your small intestine into your large intestine, where it becomes a prebiotic. It actually feeds the bacteria in your colon and allows them to multiply, which is going to help boost your immune system. 70% of your immune system is in your gut. Don't reheat the rice, though. Because once you reheat it, it gets soft again, it changes its molecular structure again, it's not resistant anymore. So just eat at room temperature. So if you're going to make the rice, cool it overnight, add a little coconut oil, extra bonus. And then when you have your food, just add the room temperature rice to your food. If you have a hot food, just add the room temperature rice to it.
So what's the difference between coconut oil and palm oil?
Palm oil, it breaks down differently. Coconut oil is a medium chain fatty acid. It's easier to break down. Coconut oil has lauric acid in it. Lauric acid stimulates the immune system. Palm oil is good if it's pure palm oil. It's not hydrogenated. Palm oil is okay. Coconut oil is better. Okay?
And what about just pure MCT?
Well, if you can do it pure MCT, but that is processed. Medium chain fatty acids is what it, medium chain triglycerides, MCTs, or medium chain triglycerides, medium chain fatty acids. But it is processed from the coconut oil. And I always try to get the least amount of processing possible. Okay? So the MCT is a good idea. I think the whole coconut oil research is going to show is going to be better. Okay? Now, coconut oil is awesome because you can use it on your skin. You can use it if there's a romantic issue. Can I keep this clean? Because a lot of times they'll use creams and gels as women get older for lubricants, and those gels have chemicals in it that can actually lead to breakdown of the cells and cancer. Coconut oil solves the problem. Okay? So that's a better choice. And if you want to eat about 2 tablespoons of coconut oil every day, and it'll help you lose weight. Because even proteins, we went to the high protein diet for a while, right? Everybody's losing weight. The problem is that sugar converts into fat. I can explain it, but we only have an hour. Proteins can convert into sugar through a process called gluconeogenesis that can be converted into fat. Fat doesn't break into fat, ironically. Fat it breaks into ketones, which is used as a fuel. So the more fat you eat, good fat, the better you're going to be, ironically. Okay?
So question on gluten.
Yes.
And how, most of us have some form of gluten allergies.
Yes.
Is there accessible, inexpensive test now on the market that people can
Yes, we
get?
can do tests in our office to see if you have a gluten sensitivity. It's a stool sample. It's relatively inexpensive, and we can see if you have a gluten sensitivity. Okay, so if you call my office, we can get that done for you. But here's the key. Don't eat gluten for 2 weeks. Then eat gluten. See how you feel. You'll feel awful, and you'll say, I was right. Because everyone does. Yes?
Is safflower good to cook in?
Safflower it's high in what's called omega-6 fatty acids, which increase inflammation, which we don't want. So I'm not a big fan of safflower oil.
If you have Hashimoto's disease, do you recommend going gluten-free?
Yes, if you have Hashimoto's disease, absolutely, positively, when I become Surgeon General, it's going to be the law that anyone that has a thyroid condition goes gluten-free and gets chiropractic care.
What is
Hashimoto's is it's an autoimmune disease where the body attacks the thyroid gland. Okay? Yes, absolutely gluten-free. Yeah. And well, like I said, it's real simple. Cut out the 7 deadly sins for 2 weeks, and then go eat them. And you'll feel awful. I said, Joe was right. And I am. And then you'll do it. Now, the cool part about this is it's so much cheaper to eat well than it is to eat poorly. By about, I would say, 50 to 80% cheaper to eat well than it is to eat poorly. And I'll talk about that as I wrap up here. Okay? We got plenty of time, but I just want to finish up my 7 deadly sins. So we got alcohol, sugar, artificial sweetener,
Coffee.
coffee. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You're going to yell at me. All right. Here's the negotiation on coffee. Because I'm a realist, and I know you know a car I drive, and it's going to blow up if I say this. Okay. If you're going to do coffee, I want you to do organic coffee only. A, I heard it tastes better. I don't drink coffee. And B, coffee is one of the most sprayed foods there is. The most pesticides and chemicals of almost any food on the market. So not only is the coffee bad, 'cause it's an acid, it's robbing your body of calcium, but you're giving yourself all these pesticides and chemicals and herbicides and tranquilizers and weed killers and everything else. So if you're going to do coffee, organic only. Decaf organic would be better. Organic as a minimum. Okay, I'll negotiate that one.
Is Jamaican coffee, is that the same?
If it's not organic, I wouldn't trust it. Okay? Doesn't matter where it's from,
Really?
a lot of chemicals on it.
What about the tea and coffee?
Tea is okay. Black tea can have aluminum in it. It absorbs it from the soil. This is something that nature creates. So if you're going to drink tea, try to stay away from the black teas. But black tea is still way better than coffee. Now, if you have a caffeine issue, you like your caffeine, She's shaking it, but yes, I do have caffeine issues.
We're all in IT here.
That's your own idea. Live on this
This is our
stuff.
fuel.
All right, so here's some tricks I'll give you for energy, okay? Because at my age, I'm 55 years old, I run circles around the 20-year-olds at my office, okay? And people say, where do you get your energy from? Well, when I'm on the radio, if you ever hear my radio shows, you've heard me? Okay, yeah. Okay, when I'm on the radio, it's live, and I get callers, it's just like this. I have no idea what's coming at me. And we're in 36, we're internationally syndicated, so I gotta be ready to answer any question at any time. My brain's gotta be working, and I don't have anybody in the room with me. I'm at the studio all by myself. So I have to have my brain working. What's the secret? The secret is I'm not smarter than you. I'm probably a lot stupider than you, but I get my brain working better. And so what you want to do is, if you want to get the brain working, a couple of things. Number one, a lot of water. Brain needs water as fuel. Number two, sleep is important too, right? But if you're in IT, you don't sleep. I know that. So you got to get the circulation up to the brain properly. So there's a couple of tricks you can do to get off your coffee. If you want to get off your coffee, this is how you do it. In fact, I have a chapter. This is my first book. There's a picture of me with hair. I don't know if you can see it. First half of the book tells you how to change your diet. Second half of the book is hundreds of recipes. If you're going to come to my house, we're going to have a party, I'd bring something from this book because this is the basis for this. The new book is coming out. It's called Prescription for Extreme Health, and it's more like my lectures. And that's coming out in January. Okay? So there's a chapter in there about kicking the habit. I want you to take a cup of coffee, put it in front of you. Take 1 tablespoon an hour. The reason is, when you drink coffee, you want the chemical explanation for it? I'll give it to you. Okay, one person to you. There's a chemical in your brain called adenosine. Adenosine is released in your brain, absorbed by your brain, and it calms you down. Well, caffeine looks like adenosine. So when it gets into the brain, it blocks up those adenosine receptor sites. So you can't absorb adenosine anymore, so you stay awake. Coffee doesn't give you energy, it prevents you from going to sleep. Make sense? Okay. So what happens is your brain says, whoa, dude, I gotta sleep. I'm gonna produce more adenosine receptor sites. So then you have to drink more coffee to fill in those adenosine receptor sites. When you used to take 1 cup of coffee, then it was 2, then 5, then 10, and 20. Some of you. So what's happening is you're messing with nature. You're messing with Mother Nature there. So when you take a tablespoon of coffee an hour, it slowly starts to unclog those adenosine receptor sites, and you don't get the headaches. The longest I've ever had anyone who really did this take to get off coffee is 4 days. And then you can replace it with something called mate. Coffee has this much caffeine, mate is on less, but it's a step down, and then black tea is a step down, and then green teas and white teas and things.
Can you spell that?
It's yerba
M-A-T-E.
Yeah, it's
Yerba.
Yerba mate. And they sell it at Whole Foods, loose leaf.
There you go.
And I have some at my desk if you want.
Somebody attack his desk. But it's a nice step down. It has a lot more. It's healthier for you. It's a national drink of Brazil, if that matters to you at all. Argentina. National drink of Argentina, which is useless information. But mate is the next step, and then tea from there.
So I was reading an article about teas, that the tea bags themselves can be very dangerous.
Tea bags can have bleach in them. Tea can have aluminum in them. Yeah. So if you're going to do tea, loose is better.
leaf and a French press.
There you go. Perfect. Loose leaf and a French press.
So let's talk about magnesium deficiency, because I ran into that. I'm a coffee drinker.
Uh-huh.
I thank my parents for that. I'm Cuban, so we grew up drinking
Okay,
Cuban
got
coffee.
it.
So I discovered that if I increase my magnesium, either through diet or supplements, I actually sleep better at night.
Yes. Magnesium relaxes your blood vessels. And this is one of the supplements I recommend for people with chronic high blood pressure when we first get them started on changing their diet. Magnesium relaxes your blood vessels. Don't take too much of it, because that's what they make milk of magnesia out of. And you'll be in the bathroom all day. But most of us are magnesium deficient. The soil is magnesium deficient, so the food you're eating is magnesium deficient. So by taking magnesium, it really helps you relax. So it's a nice little step on your transition over. Good point. Okay? Yes?
Do you have a recommendation for how to get off diet drinks? I don't drink coffee, but I drink diet drinks that have caffeine.
Absolutely.
How-
Same thing, a tablespoon each, a tablespoon an hour. Okay, but the diet sodas, oh bad. Please, I'm begging you, please get off that. You know, if you want caffeine, you can get stevia sweetened soda. Try that. Okay, that's a start. And that's where you can go to a stevia sweetened soda, which has the caffeine and the cola. Now, the neat part is that a lot of the companies, the natural companies, when you buy cola, if it's stevia sweet, it's clear. The only reason cola is dark is they add caramel color to it, which is a toxin. So if you're drinking soda, it's like it's clear. It just doesn't click in your brain. It's like, this can't be cola. It is. They just took out one more chemical they took out. Okay, so it's kind of cool. All right, so if you're going to drink coffee, let's do organic only. I'll negotiate with you there. And then eventually I want you off that. If you want to really get a boost for the brain, there's some cool little supplements you can take. And one of them is beet powder. Or beets. Beets have something in it called nitrates, good nitrates. Some are bad nitrates, these are good nitrates. When they get in your body, swish it around if you're drinking a beet powder or chewing it. Make sure it mixes with your saliva. And the nitrates convert it to nitric oxide. Remember nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels? It's really cool stuff. And it's funny, as a friend of mine is the nutrition director for U.S. Skating team, the Olympic skating team. And he says you go to training camps now, these kids are covered in beet juice because it's legal. It's not a drug, so they can drink it like crazy. It's a vasodilator. It opens up your blood vessels. So about a teaspoon or two of beet juice every day, crazy how much better you feel. Okay? Give that a shot and see what happens.
Is that a short-term improvement?
It's a short-term improvement, but as you're processing your whole life, this is kind of going to give you a little boost. And then in an emergency, you're working a late night, pop a little beet juice. Okay?
Yeah.
So when you talk about beets, is that the same as like you go to the grocery store and you buy a jar of beets?
Jar of beets, there you go. Beets. Okay, it's pretty cool stuff. So that's a hack. That's a little energy hack for you.
Throw
Okay.
them in the juicer just before I go work out.
Also good for your
I put 'em in
digestion.
my salad.
Yes, very good for your digestion. Like I said, you use it before you work out. That's what a lot of athletes are doing now. And that's a little trick for you're going to go weightlifting. You're tired. Instead of the caffeine, do the beet juice.
And then fresh beets are obviously better, but
Right.
even canned beets are pretty good.
Canned beets are okay. Yes, canned beets are okay. Jar is better than canned because cans have something called bisphenol A, and bisphenol A is an endocrine disruptor. And I only have 15 minutes. I won't give you a whole lecture on endocrine disruptors.
So the juice that's in the jar, because normally I take the beets out and I usually don't drink the juice. I probably should be drinking the juice.
You could probably drink the juice too, yeah. Okay, yeah. Now, years ago, people came to me and said, Dr. Joe, what would you consider the world's best supplement? What can I take for energy, to make me feel good, to make my brain function better? And so what I did is I sat down, and I sat down with some chemists in California, and I said, what would be the world's best supplement? I said, if somebody could take raw fruits and vegetables and put them in a pill, that would be perfect. Quick, easy, cheap, and you just pop them in your mouth, right? Well, I tried it, and the problem was you couldn't get enough volume in a pill. You have to take a handful of pills. So I created something. I created something called Dr. Joe's Essential Source. And when I came in today, the fellow met me at the front desk, and he says, you're the guy with those powders. Those things are amazing. So this is Dr. Joe's Essential Source. It's about 10 servings of raw fruits and vegetables in a powder form. Prebiotics and probiotics, good bacteria for your colon. Complete multivitamin. And a scoop of this is about $1. So you couldn't eat 10 servings of raw fruits and vegetables for $1, and you don't have to store it and clean it or anything or juice it. So this is juice in a powder form, basically. This is the thing that I take to give me the energy to get my brain working every day. I had it in the parking lot when I pulled up today. I had a jar of it. I shake it in a jar. I use coconut milk, so I like coconut milk. But this is my secret. This is my secret weapon. So I take this at least once a day. Now, if I'm going on a date, if I'm going hiking, if I'm going to give a radio show, I'll take a double dose. You know, one in the morning and then one right before the event. This stuff is amazing. The problem is we talked about acid and how bodies become too acidic. And when a body becomes too acidic, it robs the body of calcium, the nervous system doesn't work right, we're all messed up. So I said, how can I alkalize my body and my patients' bodies? So I said, what are the most alkalizing foods? Wheatgrass, barley grass, alfalfa grass juice, and then you need omega-3 fatty acids for brain function. So I created Dr. Joe Super Greens, which is wheatgrass, barley grass, alfalfa grass, chlorella and spirulina, which is the purest form of omega-3 fatty acids. And then I added dulse. Dulse is seaweed. Why would I add seaweed to it? Iodine. Statistically, everyone in this room is deficient in iodine. Every cell in your body requires iodine. We don't even know why some of the cells use iodine. We just know there's a receptor site for iodine. We don't know why you need it. We will, but the research is still early on in iodine. And dulse is the best form of, one of the best forms of iodine in the world. I take a scoop of Super Greens and a scoop of Essential Source every single day, at least once a day. And that's my secret. To be able to come to a lecture like this, not knowing what the questions are going to be, going on the air, not knowing what the questions are going to be, running 2 practices. That's my secret. It's right there. And that's why I think everybody should be taking that. So instead of artificial sweeteners for energy, instead of coffee for energy, you do that. And then if you really need a boost, then you can do some beet powder. Okay,
You
yes?
started talking about water, sleep, and then is it just more or less doing smoothies that have these greens and vegetables within it in
Right.
order to kind of start your day, end your day?
Yes. And the thing is with nutrition is this is the cool part. Here's another little secret. It's not what you eat so much, it's what you don't eat. That's important. So I'm giving you something that's totally passive. I'm not telling you to do anything, I'm telling you not to do something. So it's totally passive to eat well. Stop eating the bad stuff. But the bad stuff stimulates the dopamine receptor sites or the pleasure centers in your brain, and you can't stop yourself. You gotta stop doing it like an alcoholic. An alcoholic can't have a drink every now and then. Because once they drink, bam, we know what happens. They can't stop drinking. The same thing happens with breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas. But we don't talk about that because that's acceptable. It's a birthday party here at work. We can serve cake. We can't serve scotch. It's frowned on. Okay? Some of you would like that, I bet. But alcohol is frowned upon. It's the exact same chemical process in the brain that heroin and cocaine and sugar cause. In fact, sugar is about 16 times more addicting than cocaine.
And you're surrounded by it.
And you're surrounded. We don't have cocaine everywhere, but we have cookies everywhere, right?
Well, and even in your ketchup, like I have to read all the labels. If I want to be sugar-free, I have to read
42%
everything.
sugar, high fructose corn syrup. Now, crazy people like me have been jumping up and down over this for the past 10 years, or for me, 30 years. And you're seeing now major companies saying no high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
It's becoming an issue. When years ago they said, oh, it's the exact same thing as sugar. It's not. I'm a chemist. I know how chemistry works. This is not this. This has to be converted into this, so it's not the same thing. Now I was proven right. For 30 years, funny, I have a stack of papers in my office, and I have it's the Dr. Joe was right research. And every time something I talked about 30 years ago comes out, I throw it in my stack. Yes?
So you've talked a lot about food and about what we eat and about the 7 foods
Sure.
we should never eat. One of the things that I've noticed for myself is that the more sedentary I am, the lower my energy is.
Of course.
Can you talk about the role of exercise in
Yes.
increasing energy?
Exercise is key. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to Walmart or anywhere and buy yourself a pedometer. Now, a lot of your IT people, you're going to say, I don't need to go there. I have a pedometer on my phone. Right? Can I show you what a phone does to you? Anybody want to see? You know?
Yeah. Sure. Yes.
I use my phone. Doesn't matter whose phone it is. Come on up. Who wants to volunteer?
I'll volunteer.
Come on. I'll get my bodybuilder here. Come here. All right. Oops. How much can you bench press?
I don't think.
Okay. How much can you lift?
160 pounds.
160 pounds, okay? Put your arm straight out. Push up toward, what arm? You look silly again. What is this with the 2 arms? Push up toward the sky. Wow. Ay caramba. Okay. Phones produce something called electromagnetic frequencies. Electromagnetic frequencies, and your body is electrical as well. And when you put 2 things into an electrical system, if they don't jive, it's not a good thing. So just take my phone and just hold it against your chest. Push up real hard. The old oh crap move. Push up again. You're struggling, right? Okay. So imagine I take this and I put it in my front pocket. And then I want to make babies. Not a good thing, is it? We're finding out that laptops near the testicles lowered sperm count. I have patients all the time when I show. Sorry about that. Holy cow! But a lot of patients will come to me and say, Doc, I got this hip pain right over here. And the pain is, hold on, let me put my phone here. It's right here. So take your phone out. They take the phone out, and the pain goes away. Because you're short-circuiting your body with a phone. Okay? And you guys are in IT. You're surrounded by this stuff all day, every day. So don't use a pedometer on your phone and put it in your pocket and go walking and say, oh, I did 10,000 steps today. Because you're frying your stuff. So buy a little pedometer, hook it on your belt. I want you to walk 10,000 steps a day. 10,000 steps a day is the equivalent of a 20-minute aerobic workout. You get on your hand too, okay? But that might short circuit. You might want to test yourself. Okay, but 10,000 steps a day is your goal. Now, most of you take about 5,000 steps a day. You'll be surprised that you take about 5,000 steps a day. You just have to double it. So what do? You park far away and walk instead of driving around for 2 hours looking for a parking space. Okay? Park the furthest you can and walk. Walk to Whole Foods if you have to go for lunch. Don't use the bathroom on this floor. Use it on the next floor. You'll find little ways to add a few steps into your body to get 10,000 steps a day. When I do my radio show, I'm standing up. Okay, that's an exercise. I'm constantly in motion. So 10,000 steps a day, you'll be amazed how much better you feel instantly.
What about the Fitbit? Is that?
I want to test it on the patient. Okay, whenever you start wrapping electrical fields around the body, I've had people already react to watches. Yes.
So I noticed a lot of people talking about using coconut oil. Is that good for you?
Oh yeah, coconut oil. We talked about that earlier. It's awesome. Organic, extra virgin coconut oil. Okay?
And it's got anti-inflammatory properties.
Absolutely.
That reduce inflammation.
It reduces inflammation. It's good for you. Turmeric is great for that, which is a spice. A lot of times we use it in Indian food. Turmeric is a wonderful anti-inflammatory. Turmeric contains curcumin. Curcumin is the thing that's anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer.
So we're getting ready to run out of time. Are
Yes.
you going to give us any alternates for meat?
Yes, let me get to meat and dairy products. I know. I said I need like 10 hours. I only get an hour on these things. All right, dairy products. Cow's milk is not made for humans. It's made for cows. Any cows in the audience? No. Okay, good. All right. Baby cows. Not even adult cows. Baby cows. And when they become teenage cows, they stop drinking milk. We never stop drinking milk, and the weird part is we drink the milk of another mammal. How bizarre. I mean, who was the first person to ever drink cow's milk? It's probably strung out on diet soda. Saw a cow in a field. He grabbed the udder and says, I'm going to squeeze this. Whatever comes out, I'll put it on Cheerios. What a bizarre thing. And the milk in the United States is now oftentimes loaded with steroids, chemicals, hormones, antibiotics, pesticides, herbicides, genetically modified foods. They feed the cows corn and soy, which they're not designed to eat. They're designed to eat grass. We're feeding them corn and soy. The milk is pasteurized and homogenized. It's not the milk. Most of us are old enough to remember milk. Remember milk used to have this thing in it? It was called flavor. Remember that? And cream.
Right.
And now it's water. It's white water.
And it's legal in most states to buy raw.
And you can't buy raw milk in Georgia unless for your pets. So your pets are okay to drink healthy milk, but not. Okay? So I don't drink milk. I've been a vegan for over 30 years. I'm not asking you to be a vegan. I'm asking you to make better choices. So instead of milk, I'll tell you negotiate coconut milk, almond milk, cashew milk, sesame milk, hemp milk. Not this stuff from college, by the way. Where are you going? Different kind of hemp. So.
What about soy milk?
Soy milk, I don't like soy milk because 94% of all the soy in this country is genetically modified.
Yeah, it is.
So I'd rather you go with the coconut milk, much better choice. Organic is okay. So I'd rather see you do organic soy milk than cow's milk, yes. But coconut milk is still a better choice. Okay? Yes? For babies, well, breast milk is the ideal. And I give you a whole lecture on parenting, have a little expertise in that. But yes, breast milk is the best. For babies, though, you can do coconut milk and almond milk, but you do want to supplement that with things like super greens and essential source. Okay? This stuff's amazing for kids. Can't get kids to eat right? Scoop of that, frozen banana, coconut milk, blend it up into a smoothie. Kids love it. It's amazing. And the kids, super geniuses. And the thing now with kids, you don't have to be smart anymore. You just have to not be stupid. I mean, get that? Okay. And then meats. Let's answer that question about meat. I wouldn't eat meat. If you're going to eat meat, I'll negotiate with you, though. It's got to be organic meat. Okay? If you're going to eat meat, it's got to be organic.
Grass-fed.
Grass-fed, organic, yes. Okay? So as we wrap up, I want to make sure everybody's got one of these. If you didn't get notes, Laura's going to hand out some notes. Isn't she? Okay? These are the notes are, you got notes, yeah, there you go. Okay, here's the notes.
Can you mix your powders together?
Yes, I always do. Give me 2 Arcanas and 1 business card. Okay? And then everybody's got a survey. This is your homework. I'm Italian. I have Louis and Tony at each door here. You can't leave until you give me this back, all right? I want you to fill out the survey. If you haven't got one, Laura will give you one. I want you to let me know what you thought of today's workshop. Did you like it? Did you have fun? You learned a few things? And this way I can go to HR and say, hey, listen, this was good stuff. Let's do it again.
Totally.
Liked it? Okay. Yeah. I figured you would, yeah.
When's your radio show on?
Radio show, the live one is Sunday nights from 7 to 9 on WSB, which is 7:50 AM and 95.5 FM. Largest talk radio station in the country. I work with Clark Howard and Neil Bortz and Rush Limbaugh and all these other guys. And it's really neat that they've taken a political station, taken a slightly different direction by bringing me on board. So it's really exciting. And it's nationally syndicated, which is kind of fun too.
Do you have a podcast?
On my website, I have hundreds of hours of podcasts, and I have videotapes. In fact, I videotaped this. I'll probably put this on YouTube so that the people who couldn't be here can watch this. I'll do this as just a gift to you guys.
And you touched a lot on GMOs?
A lot of GMOs, yeah. No, the show is amazing. If you like this is the show. Just hour and hour of this stuff constantly. It's GMOs, it's perfumes, it's everything, yeah.
So this whole lecture will be on YouTube?
I'm gonna have my secretaries put this on YouTube for you guys, okay? And then I'll tell Laura if she can send out an email. I don't know if she's allowed. If she can send out an email, or when you fill out the survey, give me your email address, and I'll just put you on my newsletter. I never give your email address out, I swear. But I can send you stuff when I post things, okay? Like me on Facebook. You follow me on Facebook as well?
So real quick, guys, I'm going to be the elephant in the room for a minute. So
Okay.
I discovered Dr. Joe 15 years ago, and he's absolutely changed my life. So 15 years ago, I was 25 pounds heavier in my prior life. Couldn't walk more than a mile without breathing heavy. My kids would laugh at me because I couldn't keep up with them. I did what he's suggesting, and I bought some of the stuff, but mostly just do what he's suggesting. And is it perfect every day? No, but I've done, and it's completely, utterly changed my mind. I mean, I just did a hike in Alaska. We were hiking 20 miles a day with very little calories and foods. Just did fine, and I'm almost 50. So I absolutely guarantee if you follow his advice, you will feel better.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Unsolicited compliments, yes. And a little bonus for you. On the bottom, I'll give you one more gift before you leave. On the bottom, it says, yes, I'd like to make a consultation with Dr. Joe. We have an office right here on Peachtree Industrial. We also have an office in Marietta. What I like to do is have my patients the first time come to Marietta because that's where I practice. And I can do a consultation with you for you, your friends, and your family, no charge. And we'll see if you have something structurally, digestive issues, acid reflux, heartburn, usually very easy to fix by adjusting or pulling the stomach away from the diaphragm. Didn't have time to cover that today. But if you want to come see me, your friends and family, just call, say you heard me here at Macy's. We'll set you up a time to come see me. And then you continue care if you want to right up here on, it's literally 5 minutes from here. A lot of people from Macy's go there on their lunch hour. Okay, so you can shoot right up there. Dr. Bruns and Dr. Terry, they run my office for me there. I've trained both of those doctors. Dr. Bruns, I've trained her since she was a student, and she's been with us for a long time now. So you're going to be under the same care you get from me, you get from them. And you can do it right here. We accept most major medical insurances, car accidents, sports injuries, workers' comp injuries. We're there for you. Okay? So Mark, yes, I'd like to see Dr. Joe. You can just call my office. It's on my card, and we'll get you set up for you, your friends, and your family. And then give me your email address, and I'll send you out a lot of good information. It's maybe once a month I send out a little blurb. You're not going to get bombarded with me. Don't worry about it. All right, any other questions? Yes?
You mentioned pain management.
Yes.
What were, compared to a lot of the headaches here, take aspirin, take?
Sure. I'm the only chiropractor in the state who's board certified in pain management. All the other doctors are medical doctors who are board certified in pain management. So it's kind of fun. We go to conventions, I'm there, and they're like, hey, Joe, what would you do for a case like this? Because I support pain management. Sometimes you need injections, sometimes you need surgery, but they usually send their cases to me to try to fix them first. And in most cases we do. So we try to get to the cause of the headaches, not just cover up the headaches. If you have a headache, take an aspirin. But why do you have the headache is my question, to get in there and fix it. So that's why. Yes?
Do you have anything for allergies?
Allergies, yeah. Got to cut out the dairy and the wheat. Those are my 2 first steps for allergies. Really? Cut those out, and you'll be amazed what happens. And then from there, we got to fix your digestive system, and yeah, the answer is yes.
Do you think probiotics help allergies?
They'll help, but it's not going to fix it. It's usually more than that.
So his philosophy is when you eat, you try to minimize your autoimmune reaction.
Right. Try to minimize your body attacking the food. Right. Yes.
Is coconut oil better than olive oil?
They what?
Is coconut oil better than olive oil?
Yes, coconut oil is better than olive oil, yes. Okay? And then on your way out, if you would give Laura your surveys, and she'll collect them for me. You have my card. If you have any questions, send me an email, listen to my shows. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.